Welcome, welcome, welcome to Scottish Watches Live, your regular Friday dose
good start
of everyone from the Scottish Watches team. Plus, this week's interloper, which is Damien from the Watch Guys TV. Hello, Damien, how are you?
Hi there, Rick. Yeah, very good, thank you.
Excellent. We will start as we mean to continue. We'll just go around the gang and then we'll get stuck into this week's topic, which is the best movie watches with extra points. If your watch also appears in a book or a poem, you'll get extra points. So let's start. First up on my screen is actually Lucy. So Lucy, where are you and what are you wearing?
I am the Watchbox Diaries. I am based in England and I am currently wearing my Seiko Passage.
Very nice, very nice. It's a red colour. Is that any indication of anything that's happening in the world? Never mind.
Not at all. There's nothing red going on here at all.
Next up, looking very blue, is Derek. Where are you? What are you wearing? I know you're actually wearing black.
Hi, I'm Derek Hager in Brooklyn, New York. Hold on, sorry.
You appear to be distracted.
Derek Hager, Brooklyn, New York.
Something.
I'm wearing my Hamilton Field Khaki Mechanical today.
Very good. And resplendent in red is Gigi. Where are you? What
Hello, Gigi. Time to talk watches in Milan, Italy, and today I am wearing my Vertex MB01B.
Cool, very nice.
Dirty Dozen reissue.
And Mr. Shark, Floatlight, where are you? What are you wearing?
I am at home near Glasgow. I'll say near Glasgow because that keeps Ricky happy. And I am wearing a terrible lighting, Grand Seiko Lion Chronograph GMT.
Oh, very nice indeed. Ralph, you're up next. Where are you?
Right.
Cool
well, I'm in Dubai, and I'm wearing double wristing today. Coolpep_watches. I am wearing a blue Omega and a blue Tudor. So
blue.
There you go.
Heresy.
So it's not that you can't decide between blue and red. You've just decided go for blue.
No, I have a solution for everybody who's voted red.
Okay.
I mean that's what
you say.
Canada.
Yeah, everyone that's voted red moved to Canada. That's fine. Next up on my screen then is Damien. Where are you, sir? What are you wearing?
I am in England. Looks like I'm in some kind of medieval gulag at the moment. And I'm from the watchguys.tv. Thank you very much for having me on. And today I'm wearing a Doxa sub 200 Shark Hunter, which is the 130th anniversary.
Oh, very good. Very good. I think, did you get that from James Porter the week that you were up in Scotland?
No, I think I got it from CW Sellers, I think.
Did you get it from Sellers? Very good. Yeah. Next up is Philogius. Where are you? What are you wearing?
Hi guys, Walrus Watch on Instagram. I'm from Singapore. Wearing the A. Lange Saxonia.
Casual.
That's a Trump move if ever there was one.
Hide my Seiko.
Very good. And in that case, then it's over to Sam. UK Sam, where are you?
Hello, I'm Sam, time on our hands. In the UK, in Kent. I will be double wristing, but first off, I have the Hamilton Murph, stolen from work, David Carpenter watches.
Very good. And stateside Sam, are you in a bunker? Are you hiding?
I am hiding. It's kind of scary. Anyway, I'm Sam in her watchbox on Instagram, and I'm in Colorado. And today I'm wearing my frozen margarita Seiko.
Very good. And finally, with her, I'm hoping it's not actually a MAGA hat, but with her red hat on in Miami is Sophie. So Sophie, what are you wearing in your head and what are you wearing in your wrist?
So that hat was made by Moser at SIHH, I think 2 years ago. They distributed it, or maybe more, like 3 years ago. God, you know what? It must have been 4 years. It would make sense, right? I just have no notion of time anymore.
What is
Not more than
time?
4 years,
And
though,
it
because otherwise it wouldn't.
It says make Swiss made great again. So that
Very
is
good.
my take on life. Has nothing to do with the color. And I am wearing the watch that we would be talking today at some point, which is the Submariner, no date, from our
Yeah,
crown.
that's Sophie's appealing for votes early by giving away what she's.
that was a bit of a spoiler there, Sophie.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Right.
Who
Well,
doesn't talk about Rolex?
first up, let's give Damien a little chat. So, Damien, tell us. I'm just going to share your YouTube channel. If I can get the technology to work.
You'll never find it.
Tell us a bit about the carguys.tv and your new venture, which is the Watch Guys.
Okay, well, Car Guys is obviously a car channel. So it's myself and a guy called Jason. And we basically, we've got lots of cars. We like to drive them around and talk nonsense in a sort of old Top Gear type of style. We're doing that for about 3 years. And then just this year, actually, just as we went into lockdown, I decided to launch the watchguys.tv because that's my other passion. So cars and watches is pretty much where I'm at in terms of crazy collecting gene. And so I thought, since I was locked in and had a load of watches nearby, what could I do easily? Well, I could just ramble on and on about my watch collection. So I started the watchguys.tv in, I think, March, something like that, or start of April. And it's been going quite well so far. I've really enjoyed it.
Good stuff. And so when you go out tonight for your final run around England before everybody's in lockdown, what are you going to be jumping into?
Probably I'm going to be jumping into the car that I just took the roof off of because it took ages, which is a Porsche Spider. So probably that'll be it, I think. Bit of top-down action.
Good stuff. Just what you need in November because that's never been known to go wrong.
Yeah, can't see any problems there.
No.
Yeah, it's not good. There we go. Cool. We'll check out Damien from the carguys.tv, but Damien is also going to be first up today. So I hope he's got his spiel ready because Damien is well. I did contemplate doing something different with the scoring today. I contemplated having jokers. I contemplated all sorts of things, but I reckon that seeing as the whole world, or at least one significant part of the world, doesn't seem able to count anything very quickly, that it would be as well maybe not to complicate it more than it already is. So this week, it's the same as last week. You can vote 0 to 9, but you're only allowed to use each number once. So once you've used it, that is it. That is the jeopardy of the game.
Will we call someone out for fake news if we don't believe?
Oh yeah, no. Listen, as everybody should know, cheating is what it's about. So anyone who wants to lodge a legal suit or just jump up and down and cry like a baby should feel free anytime you want. And if you want to phone a friend at Fox News or CNN, then feel free to get them to chime in. But first up is going. Go on, Dave.
I was going to say you could have made that sentence a lot shorter when you should just have stopped at the Americans can't count.
How can you make something so straightforward so difficult?
Have you ever been to the States?
Yes.
We're not educated. You have to understand. We're not educated. That's why.
Remember, subjugated masses, power to the people.
And you have Sesame Street, and you have the count.
Well, it's the classic problem. Once you run out of fingers and toes, what do you count on?
Yeah. Just start
Other
over.
parts of the UK like that.
Yeah.
Wales. That's what we call Wales.
Oh yeah.
Sticky out, right. First up then is going to be Damien, and he's going to be talking to us about this particular timekeeping icon, as they call it in Gear Patrol, the Seiko 6105, and the film this is from is.
This one is featured in
Apocalypse.
Yeah, this one's featured in Apocalypse Now.
So
this one
why
right
choose
here,
this? What's so special?
What I love about this, this is the one. This is mine. So this is the one I got, and it's 1972, which is my birth year. Although the film obviously is 1979. What I love about this and the whole story is just how rugged it is. So, you know, it's a classic sort of timepiece, really rugged technology. In order to start the watch, like if it's stopped and you need to get it going, what I like is that you can't really do any of this sort of winding business. You basically have to set the time and then shake it really, really hard to get it going, which to me is very Vietnam. So this is obviously an iconic watch which was worn by Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now. So it's Captain Willard and it's known as the Willard. It's a fantastic sort of watch to wear like on safari or when you're out in an adventure. And I just think it's a really nice, cool piece that you actually see quite a lot of in the film.
And more importantly, it's worn by Martin Sheen, the best president the United States never had. But there we go. So,
apart from Morgan Freeman.
Apart from Morgan Freeman. Yes. So, and this was then re-released by Hodinkee recently in SPB 151 and 153. Has anyone seen or used the newer watches?
I hope my other half doesn't see this because I'm about to put a spoiler out there. But he tried this on in one of the shops recently and he absolutely fell in love with it. But he's actually torn between the new blue limited edition that's coming out as well.
Yeah.
So a couple of options for Christmas.
I've had a little play with those new ones as well. And actually, Rick, someone we know, has got one because I was playing with them both with him because they couldn't decide between the green and the black one.
Right.
They're really nice for the money. They're absolutely amazing for the money, to be honest. I've got the this is where we need to roll out Handsome Rob because he remembers numbers, but I think it's the 33. So they did the actual re-edition of the original in the high beat caliber one, which I'm lucky enough to have one of those, and it's pretty special. But to be honest, when you see it beside these, okay, yeah, it's, to be fair, it's considerably more expensive, but it shows you what good value this one is actually. It's such a good piece. It's so close to the 33, and for I think a third of the price nearly. It's pretty impressive.
It fits really well on the wrist as well, considering you know it looks a bit chunky. It sits really well.
It throws me not being able to wind it. I think we had one or similar in for repair, and I wanted to test it, and I was like, I just can't wind it up.
There you go. You've got the tips now from Damien.
Exactly. It's all about the wrist. All about the wrist action.
This conversation's right on the line.
And that's why I blocked Ricky from coming on this show today with Damien. Okay, let's give Damien a vote. So this is a good watch from a great film. So let's vote. So first up, that's going to vote for this is going to be UK Sam. Give it a score.
3.
3.
It's okay, but I'm not loving.
Ralph.
5 from me.
Philo.
Sorry, mine's a 3. Yeah,
Ooh,
it's a cool watch, but I just don't like the shape. So, and I don't like 4 o'clock crown. So,
that seems a perfectly reasonable reason. Sophie.
I'm also going for 3 because I'm not a Seiko person.
Again, I'll put mine away. I'll put my Seiko away. Yeah, I like them. And I think because I've actually seen it on and felt it on the wrist.
So what you're saying is you're going to buy your other half a watch that you're only going to give a 6 to rather than a 9, so you're going to get an average present for your other half.
I don't want to give out all my good points straight off.
Okay.
Practical as well.
So many opportunities for innuendo there, Rick. I just thought I'd back right off at that point.
PG.
Dave.
Solid 5.
Again, a 5. Nice. And stateside Sam?
4.
A 4. And Derek, who this week still doesn't understand the rules.
I think so far I'm following.
But is in common with 153 million other people in the United States. A 7.
Numbers are hard over here.
And finally, Gigi is back to front. Oh, it can't be because you've given it an 8.
I love the watch. I love the movie. I want that watch. I really want one. I'll get one.
Thanks for those noises. That'll go down well on the audio. Right, so next up is going to be UK Sam, who I know has researched this watch hard.
Oh.
And this is a
Hang
watch
on, wait,
made
I've
famous
got notes from someone.
by this particular gentleman, Elvis Presley. And this is the Hamilton Ventura, which he wore in the film
Blue Hawaii.
Blue Hawaii. You
I
see,
wouldn't
there's an
even
American
surprise me.
theme. We've had Martin Sheen. We've now got Hawaii. You see, I worked hard at convincing you all to take different watches. So tell us about this watch, because not only did Elvis make it famous, but a very similar one was made famous by another gentleman, I believe.
Yes.
Possibly,
Yep.
yes.
I think it was in Men in Black.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, that's what I was going for.
I think
So
so.
I've got another one here.
Oh.
So let me put you on full screen.
Oh,
Right,
no.
go for that again.
There we go. Just about to see it there. I didn't think I'd like these. But they're cool. Going back to sort of Elvis. So he back in the 50s got one, wore it in Blue Hawaii, continued to wear it, and it, like him, it became an icon and really popular watch, and nothing like anything else you see. Can I get this right way around? The asymmetric shape, but weirdly, when you put it on, it just fits really nicely and it sits really well, and it's just really cool. And Hamilton as a brand, I would imagine, sort of off the back of the popularity with Elvis a little bit as well, just continued to put watches in films. So the Murph in Interstellar and the Ventura went into Men in Black as well. So as a brand, they're really tied into the film industry, and this particular watch, I think, is the sort of the most iconic one of them all.
Yes, we in fact have 3 Hamiltons on the show today, so this is the first one up from Hamilton. Dave, have you got one of these?
No, but I have been really close quite a few times. I think it's one of those watches for me that kind of falls into that. Every time I see one, I go, oh, that's quite cool, and I mess about with it, and you try it on, and you think that's really cool, but it's just in that kind of weird space where it's not amazing enough that you're like, okay, my mission is to go and get one.
Yeah.
And then usually when you see one, you think, okay, I'm going to get one. You're like, yeah, but there's about 5 other things that are currently coming in, so I better be careful with money and all the usual stuff. But one day it will. I think it's a cool piece. I quite like the XL one, which is big, but as most folk know, it's not as if I wear small watches. But I think it's a cool piece. I really like it.
Yeah,
Hamilton as a brand are so underrated. Full stop.
Yeah, they're getting popularity is getting there. We've sort of sold quite a few through the shop, and I love them. Love what they're doing.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of range within this. So there's this one, the skeleton, which I think is my favourite, but it is 2,000 Swiss francs. That's quite a lot of Spondylix. It is limited to 999 pieces, but that is quite cool. So let's give it a vote then. First up to vote, and this then is Damien. What did you think of this? Have you got one of these? Tried one of these on before?
I haven't got one of these actually, but I am a bit obsessed with that Murph one that I saw recently. So this one, I totally agree with Dave. I've had a look at it, but I've never actually pushed the button because there's been loads of others. So probably, I'm going to use up all my numbers eventually. So it's whether I go. I'm going to go.
Oh, Damien has had blocks.
Not one for me.
Stolen from a small child somewhere. Next up then is Ralph. Give us a vote for Sam and her blocks.
Okay, I need Sam later on. So I'm doubling what Damien just gave, and I give it a 4 because the king wore it. So how bad can it be?
Indeed. Felorius.
It's a 6 from me. I think it was a great watch in Men in Black. So
sorry, I can imagine you doing a mean Elvis impression. I think you've got that in you.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I think you can do
inside. Sophie.
I love that watch. I always loved it, but I'm very upset with Hamilton. And as a shout out to my friend RT Custer that is struggling with this brand, I'm giving it a 1, but I really love it.
Wow.
There you go. Final revenge has been taken. Just like Dave. Just like
woman
Dave.
scorned.
Yeah, just like
Solidarity,
Dave.
small brand solidarity.
Yeah. Dave reduced Rolex to begging for it last week, and now Sophie has reduced Hamilton down to their size. Lucy, give us a vote.
You're not going to boost it too much, unfortunately. But
Yeah, 3 from Lucy.
it's okay.
Dave, then, a watch you didn't buy but you like. What are you giving it?
I was going to get a 4, and then
It's
I've
my
revised
birthday.
that to a 6 because the watch is really cool. The watch is really cool, and because of Men in Black and a few other films, it's a gateway for a lot of people to get into that brand to actually realise that they make some really cool stuff. So you can have a 6.
Good stuff. Stateside.
7. I love this watch so much. It's so good.
So by 7 we mean a 3. And Derek.
That's a 4 for me. I like those. I have a tendency to use all my big numbers too early, so I'm trying to relax today.
You're learning.
You're going for the
Trying,
postal
I'm
system,
trying.
posting it in.
Dragging it out.
Yeah, Damien will realise very quickly that it's more of a strategy.
Yeah. Actually, Derek, can we just check the date on the franking stamp for the mail there, just to make sure that's a valid vote?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get back to you. I don't know if I can count that high.
Derek, is this premature election syndrome?
And did you write it with a Sharpie or a ballpoint pen? Because that seems to be a point of contention.
There's a couple of check marks. I can't make it out.
Is there a neutral observer in your flat to observe these voting?
Wait, are we using 0 today as well?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're using 0.
Yep.
Okay.
0 to 9.
Okay.
So I want to know if anyone's got I want to know who Hanging Chad is, but that's a different story. Gigi, final vote from you is
A 1.
What's that? A 1.
I can't stand that watch. I mean, it's
Oh.
cool, but I literally, sorry, Sam,
Yeah.
anything else I'd wear on my watch, anything.
I didn't like it until I wore it, and then I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
I'm going to try and wear it then. Okay, I'll take your
I'll
advice.
send you one.
Now, meh.
I wonder how bad it's going to be for Gigi to give his 0 out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's here. It's right here.
Is it just there I heard Gigi say he would wear anything other than that watch? That sounds like a challenge,
Oh.
Gigi.
That is a challenge.
Oh, dear.
Especially after the Halloween edition.
I'd wear a pumpkin on my wrist. Okay, I'd wear a pumpkin on my wrist.
My challenge is going to make you really like that watch really quickly.
Well, let's see if Ralph gets the favour returned by Sam, because next up is Ralph and a watch that's already been mentioned a couple of times. I also have one of these, and never wear it, obviously. But this is the Hamilton khaki field, the Murph. Tell us about the film this is from, Ralph, and did you understand the film?
Right. I thought I get extra point for a poem, right? So when Rick asked me to choose a watch in a movie, I thought that sounds rather groovy. So off I went to the film turf and found the one, the Murph. Extra point.
And that wasn't quite what I meant, but we'll give you an extra point for poetry. So if anyone else can come up with some rhyming
at least it's rhymed
now and the end of the show.
Okay, so yeah, this watch is not just a movie prop, right? It's actually a really central part in the Christopher Nolan masterpiece Interstellar. It's used in this movie as a tool for a father separated through time and space to contact his daughter to let her know that while she will never see him again, he's fine. So if you want this heartwarming, fuzzy feeling, when you look at your watch, this is the watch to have. This is the watch for you, right? And to remind you of the movie as well, I mean, besides the lovely box, which you can still buy the watch, probably without the whole presentation case, but it's just a normal version of this watch, and it has a small Easter egg. The way that Cooper communicated to his daughter Murph was setting the second hand via the Morse code, right? So transmit Morse signals, basically short and long, to her. And this little sequence is on the second hand, and it spells Eureka. It's like for I found it, right? And it's a lovely watch. I mean, it's the only, I think, watch in the khaki line that has no date. So that's nice. It's very symmetrical. It's very clean. It's a Swiss ETA movement in it. Price is under $1,000. It's lovely. Has an exhibition case back, as you can just see on the screen. And I think that's one of the most iconic movie watches because it's featured in absolutely focus on big on the cinema silver screen when you watch this movie. So it's an integral part of the whole plot. So I think it has to win.
Yes, it is actually genuinely a watch that is part of the plot, as you say. It's actually a very, very cool watch. I quite enjoy the one that I've got. It works really well. And the wee loom pots on the second hand are quite cool if you can get them charged enough. It's also a reasonably sized watch. It's a 22mm strap that's on it, so it wears 42mm. It wears quite large, so I quite like it for those reasons. Anybody else got one of these?
Yes, there it is, one, Sam. Yay.
There we go. There we go. Make it out. But yeah, I love it. Yeah,
it's a really nicely made watch as well. It's actually pretty classy in a way as well. It's very wearable.
It is very wearable, yeah. I agree. It's quite cool. Let's give it some votes then. Obviously, a couple of you quite like it, so it might be quite well. But first up is Damien. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I really like it, actually. I don't think I've got any Hamiltons, and therefore I think this could be my first one that I get because I absolutely love it. As soon as I saw it, I just thought it was really cool. And funnily enough, last week I had a good old deep dive to see if I could pick one up. So I'm out there and looking at the moment. So I'm going to have to give it. Is that even visible? There you go. There you go. I'm giving it an 8. I love it.
I know where there's one sitting that might be available. Anyway, Sam. Sam, are you scoring it high? As soon as you've got one.
Yeah, no, it's the second watch that I was gonna go for. I went for Ventura first, so yeah, I'll go for a 7.
Yay! Good stuff. Well, yes.
Yeah, it's a 2 for me.
Average.
I like the movie.
You want to get me
right
fired
now.
again? I see it.
Well, I think Rick is inverting all the scores at the end, right?
Yeah, exactly. I need to double check them and check how they're written. And it's actually, you have to submit your scores by Morse code, similar to the film, and they will then score. Sophie, what are you giving this?
I'm giving it a 2 because I can't give it a 0 because the story was really well said. But I'm anti-Hamilton today.
Yeah, I get that. I don't take it personally.
I know.
All I'm going to say is...
It's just going to go and cry now.
All I'm going to say is nail up to the person who I know has still got a Hamilton to come and therefore has just got a 0 from Sophie. Right, Dave? Lucy?
Oh, Dave or Lucy?
No, Lucy, I was just telling Dave he's scoring a 0 in advance from Sophie because he's the guy with Hamilton left.
Yeah, but my Hamilton's got a sting in the tail if she gives me a 0.
All right, okay.
You know I love you, right?
This is why I have wine to sit and watch the gossip unfold.
Go on. Have you scored this yet, Lucy?
No, I haven't.
No. Go on.
I'm going to give it a 7. It's a really simple looking watch, but I like it.
Very good. And Dave.
And it's a beautifully told story.
Yeah.
It's all about the presentation.
I was about, see, I had a 7 in my hand again, and then I've changed my mind, and I'm now feeling guilty, but then I remembered that I actually don't really care, so it's getting a 4.
And that it was Ralph.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I mean, if it
I
wasn't
can
Ralph,
take it. Bring it on. Bring it on.
if it wasn't Ralph, it'd probably get whatever random number I happen to pick up, to be honest. But no, I really like it. I just think it's a cool watch, but it's not. In film watches, there's some really cool stuff that just is so far out there that I'm reserving some high numbers and hoping someone pulls something out of the bag.
Sam, USA.
I love this watch. I always go back to it every time I kind of want it one day, but I'm giving this an 8.
Oh, quite well. This is a bit of a boom opinion divider here. Derek.
I'm gonna go with 6. I like it. I like the movie connection. I had one of those in the shopping cart when they came out for like half a day, and I couldn't decide. I eventually did not get it, but regret it a little bit.
Then finally, Gigi. It's back to GG.
Down.
That's a 7.
It's still a 7 if it's
Upside
the other way around, isn't it? I mean, it's not going to change. Still,
Okay.
Roger Moore was upside down, poor guy. Okay, well, love the
That's
watch,
good.
love the movie, but nothing really. It's special, but it looks like a lot of other field. I mean, it looks like the stuff like this. I'm wearing now. It's not really special in the sense that it stands out like the other Hamilton, which I voted really low for. But it's a cool watch. I love it.
Well, next up is the only watch that was sort of picked twice by obviously not the same person, 2 different people, but the one who gets to speak about it is Philogius, and he gets to introduce us to the Dark Knight and his JLC.
This watch. This is my watch.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, Sam's going to give you a low vote because she wanted this.
Dude, I love this watch so much.
Okay.
Amazing.
Getting serious now.
So tell us all about it, Philogius.
Yeah, so I picked this because I think it's one of the most thematically fitting watches. I mean, it suits the Batman Bruce Wayne character. It's because of the flipping faces. And, many people say that Batman, this is a bit geeky, but anyway, Bruce Wayne is really the mask, not Batman, and Batman is the real character. And in many ways, the dressy appearance of the watch hides its more sporty background, history, and stuff like that. I mean, I know Rick doesn't believe the polo story, but
who cares?
Yeah. So anyway, I think thematically it's one of the most fitting watches, and it's a really cool watch. And they have a whole range of sizes, so it fits almost anyone.
Yeah, it's a cool watch. I mean, I just because I don't believe a word of the story doesn't mean it's not a cool watch. It's just much like other things that are going on in the world. There are some stories I simply don't believe, but it doesn't matter that it's actually happened. So this is the JLC.
Sorry, Rick. If you want a sense check, Rick, when you don't believe it, just think of Bremont, and then you'll suddenly believe everything they say.
Shots fired.
And to the parent, no, actually nobody picked the Bremont this week, so there you go. They did not get chosen. They actually have quite a big catalogue.
They do.
They are in the Kingsman, right?
Yeah. Kingsman, yeah.
True.
So
I'm the mug that bought one of them.
Did
With
you?
the pink hands.
Yeah.
I have one too.
The Kingsman.
Pink hands.
So you all just forgot the actually owned watches that were in the movies. That just shows you how much of an impact it made on you. Anyway, this is a pretty cool watch from a very cool film, and obviously it allows me to put in the show notes my Christian Bale joke, which is what happens when Batman doesn't go to church. Christian Bale. Sorry. Right. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Let's give this some votes.
GG, end it now, GG, end it now.
Yes, we made GG co-host of this.
Kill the feed.
So, Damien, give Philogius a vote.
Yeah, I absolutely love this watch. I've almost bought one of these loads of times, and I've never quite done it. But I don't really remember it being in the film at all. Apart from, like the publicity still or the slight thing, I don't really remember it being an integral part of the movie. So I'm going to have to give this one, even though I love that one, I'm going to give that a 5.
It was in the scene where Christian Bale rode his horse during a polo match. Sam, give this watch a score.
I agree with Damien. Love the watch, but it's not, not a big part of the movie. So 6 from me.
6. Ralph.
I'm just returning the favor of giving it to and to Philogius for absolutely no reason about the watch, just because I can.
Favoritism.
Popularity contest.
No, I think the polo story is absolutely true. I mean, imagine, all of the mingling and the huddling and all of this big impact that you have on the horse.
Yeah, exactly my thoughts.
And a polo do you go to?
Polo mints is about as close as
he's confusing polo with shinty or hurling.
I played some water polo.
Yeah, the horse drowns in those ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't end well for the horse.
I believe you.
Sophie, how much do you like Philogius?
I love your choice. And I love that watch, first of all, as a watch. The Reverso to me has always been a very close to my heart watch. It's one that I gave my dad for his 60th birthday, and that he promised he would give to me one day. And I also love the fact that you would never think that a superhero would not wear a tool watch. So I just love the contradiction of Batman wearing this, and the whole watch itself gives me a 9.
Ooh.
A 9. Ooh.
Is it like this?
Controversial.
There it is somewhere.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's just a bit. Lucy.
I am going to balance that 9 off. Unfortunately.
Oh,
Sorry. It's a gorgeous watch. I just feel a bit meh towards it. It's, I don't feel like it doesn't.
Come on, own your
stand
vitriol.
out.
Come on, own your hatred.
Yeah.
It's just
Solid
nothing-
effort.
Balance out.
One.
Oh, I'm really
Dave.
sorry.
What,
What are you
me?
giving it? Yes.
I'm in a very indecisive mood today. I was going to give it 3, but I've decided I'm going to join the Odyssey camp or other Sam camp. It's getting 0.
Oh.
for no reason other than I just.
You need to get the 0 out of the way. Yeah.
What's going on?
Exactly. I mean, I just have to dispose of it. So there we go. I'm really sorry. Well, I'm not really.
The one is because it's pretty, but
Stateside Sam.
It is a lovely watch.
I love this watch. You stole my pick, but I'm not going to use that against you. I love this watch. I don't know if anybody knew, but JLC made it like a specific version for the Dark Knight movie. So like when you flip it over, it's the Batman symbol, and I love it so much. So it's a 9.
Ooh.
I actually didn't know that until Rick sent me the photo, and then he asked me, "Is that the watch you're referring to?"
It's so cool. It's amazing.
Good stuff. Derek.
I think I'm also in Camp Lucy. It's nice, but it's a little meh for me.
A 2 from Derek. And finally, Gigi. Is a
I
9.
love it because
Ooh,
I
that
was
is
going to pick
very split.
I love the watch. I love the movie. I was going to pick that actually. I did all the research. I knew about the special version they made, and it's just okay. It was just too obvious for me as a pick. So I'm happy somebody else picked it though. But I love the watch. It's if my next windfall, I'm gonna get one of those. I had one I had a friend lent one to me for a week. And it's just the larger Reverso, so it's okay for my wrist. And I was like flipping it over. It just feels so good. It's like a click, click, click.
Yeah.
It's
That's so true.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
It's better than
It's
the
a
bezel.
fidget
It's better
spinner in watches.
It's a fidget spinner, exactly. $1,000, I don't know, whatever, €5,000 €5,000 fidget spinner.
Okay. Next up then, be upstanding for the man, the myth, the legend, and Sophie, who has picked the Rolex Submariner 6536 from
What
Dr.
a
No.
surprise.
Surely some
Yes.
respect there, small boy. Yes, this is a
Shocked
lovely
and
watch.
stunned.
shocking.
I love everything about this. I love the actor. I love the movie. I love the story. I love the Bond girl. She's so sexy. And that watch looks so sexy on him. To me, this is the most iconic, I would say, watch on in cinema. Always been. And that's actually the death of Sean Connery made me wear my Submariner a lot lately, because it just feels like it's almost like a real homage to someone that meant a lot to the industry of cinema. And it's funny because Fleming, who is the author of the James Bond, was himself a big fan of Rolex and owned several, including he's known for the Explorer. And that's also why he's very often making his character wear a Rolex in his books. So that's something I learned by doing a little research. But that watch is hot. I love it.
Yeah, is this the one that's known as the Big Crown? Because it's got, a big crown.
Background.
No?
It might be, maybe.
Ironic.
So, no, it's very cool watch. Is Dr. No the one where he wears the strap, the pass-through that doesn't fit?
Yeah,
It's
in the movie,
Goldfinger.
yeah, he's wearing it on a leather strap. This is from 1962. I don't know I don't know when. I don't know if it was already on Oyster. I can't remember the date of the Submariner, but in this movie, it's on Leatherstrap.
Cool. Good. Oh, well, it is a classic. I'm always tempted to go around to everybody and say, when you give your vote, you have to do it in your best Sean Connery accent. So first up to give us his best Sean Connery voting on the Dr. No sub is Damien.
Oh dear me, no pressure then. Cool, blimey. Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to say I hate myself for giving such an obvious answer, but I mean, in terms of movie watches, it's absolutely so iconic. It's absolutely fantastic. To me, it's a little bit of a dull watch, but the combination of Sir Sean Connery, Bond, and this in a film, Honey Rider, all that business, that's going to be a somewhat shocking 9.
Yay. Thank you.
UK Sam, give us your best Sean and give us your vote.
Oh dear God. Not at you, by the way.
God's not going to help you.
Yes.
God's not going to help you now.
Point goes from Ken.
I'm not sure I can. That's Irish.
To be sure, Sean.
To be fair, Rick's last impression was Irish as well, so you've got no chance.
It's going to be an 8. No. I would want to vote lower for Sophie, but it is a great watch and a great film and an icon. So.
Kiddo. Ralph, expecting big things from you.
I cannot actually talk Scottish accents at all, so I'm just giving you a quote. I'm not an Englishman. I was never an Englishman, and I don't ever want to be one. I'm a Scotsman. I was a Scotsman, and I'll always be one. 7.
A 7.
Brackets that lives in a tax haven. Close brackets.
Exactly.
And was born in Ireland.
August, give us your vote.
Sorry, where were we? Yeah, I guess an 8. Yeah, I haven't watched many Sean Connery movies, so I was looking for quotes. I think the only one I've watched was probably The Rock, which I love. So, I mean, I watched it as a kid, so it was amazing. Let's see, what is this? I'm sure
last year then.
This will make a great bedtime story to tell your kid. Well.
It was a valiant effort.
Nice try.
Right, Lucy.
Dear God, all right. It's a good effort, but yeah, Irish.
All right, Paddy.
Welcome to Dublin.
I'm gonna do it anyway. It's a good effort, but it's
Turn the lights on, Lucy.
It's a 4.
yeah, it's getting really dark outside.
Oh, okay.
British, you know.
Oh, right.
Sunshine.
Dave. Okay.
Go on.
Hello, it's Sean here. Surely there's been some mistake. I don't wear Rolexes. I wear Omegas.
Very good. A 1. And he wears Panerai, so stuff the lot here.
The Marx Brothers.
So you claim.
Don't you have a Submariner behind you and your radiator? Oh, she's busy. Lucy, don't you have a Submariner right behind you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I might do.
Yeah,
Right.
right? Isn't it?
That's big.
Hold on. Let's
Put that on my
full
wrist.
screen.
And you gave it a 4. Okay.
That's.
I mean, it's nice as a clock on my radiator.
But that was the small crown, right?
No crown.
But it has a date.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. It's just, the crown's too big.
The big small crown.
Stateside Sam, bring us back to some sense.
It's going to be a 1.
Come on, you're an actress. Give us a proper accent. Come on, have another go. What was your drama teacher? What was your accent coach say to you?
Yeah, that sounded more like a kind of sinister Northern Irish terrorist more than
I know it did. Can I break your kneecap?
I know your mom.
What school did you go to? Derek.
That's a 9 for me. That sounded more like Bane.
That was scary.
It did actually sound like Bane.
Became a little more Bane-ish. I'm mixing up movies.
I thought it was more Mr. Magoo, but there we go. Gigi.
Well, for me, it's a 6. Is it?
Shit.
Whoa. 6 because it's the highest one I've got left. I love the watch, but it's a bit obvious, I suppose. It's just the iconic watch, the Submariner. First product placement in a Bond movie, in any movie, actually, come to think about it.
But you know what's funny, Gigi, is that when I picked it was literally yesterday, and I told Rick, I'm sure it's been picked already. I have to find a second choice. And he goes, believe it or not, it hasn't been picked yet.
It was obvious choice. I mean, if you want to go obvious, it would have been the choice. But mine's so obscure that I'm going to get like 0 from everybody. So mine was like, what the fuck? Sorry.
But was it really product placement? I don't think so. No, it wasn't.
No?
Wasn't it?
There wasn't. But it kind of became unwittingly. It became product placement because everybody wanted one.
Yeah. It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll move on from product placement to product placement, and this from Lucy. This is the Pulp Fiction Lancet watch.
Okay, I missed
from Where the Sun Doesn't Shine, for those that know the film.
Yes.
Tell us all about this, Lucy.
So this is obviously an incredible film, Pulp Fiction, a classic, and the Lancet is trench watch, apparently originally made in 1918. It's got a massive part in, well, I say massive part in the film. It has a small part physically in the film, but the story itself, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Hopefully you have. If not, go watch it after. And basically, Christopher Walken is passing on his old friend's watch to his son, and he's telling him the story of how it got to said son, including how long it spent in a rather unfortunate place during a war, so it wouldn't get confiscated by the Japanese. And obviously, Bruce Willis throughout the film is seen wearing it and picking it up. So, and I think it's a really cool looking watch as well. I know you can pick them up quite cheaply still now. But yeah, like the story, the film, the watch itself are just all really cool.
Yeah, so this is Christopher Walken, who plays the character who smuggled this watch in his bodily orifices in order to give it to Bruce Willis during
just the
the
one
film.
orifice.
Just the one orifice, yes, just the one.
Do that in a Sean Connery accent.
Put in a Christopher Walken accent. It's even better.
He smuggled it in his orifice.
How do you do that without sounding Irish?
By being Scottish in the first place.
It kind of helps.
much like how Sean Connery did it, he was just Scottish, so that was the way he sounded. So this is the Lancet watch. This is actually quite cool. I've never seen one of these. Is anybody a collector of these kind of military watches among the gang?
No.
Gigi, have you not got not one of these, but Dirty Dozen?
Yeah, the one I'm wearing, the one I've got on my wrist, but it's not. Yes. It's just a reissue. I'm not into vintage. It's like a time bomb. It's like I mean, Damien. It's like vintage cars. They look incredible. They're fantastic, but they're just a pain in the backside because they break. And,
much like the watch.
Just,
yes.
Yeah, but, this one especially.
So no, but
sharp, Sam, sharp.
Good stuff. Well, let's give it a vote or two then. So first up is going to be Damien.
Yeah, very cool watch. I like the fact that it's it's in the film a lot, and obviously it delivers one of the big laughs in the whole film as well. So I remember watching this in the cinema and just absolutely bursting out laughing when he said this. So I'm going to pull this out of my ass.
Number 7.
Thanks.
Sam, UK.
Yeah, great film. Watch is very cool. I'm running out of high numbers, so you've got 5.
A 5. Ralph.
You said, first of all, it doesn't really speak to me, the watch itself. Then it was where it shouldn't be. Also, you said it's cheap, so 0.
A 0.
reasonably inexpensive.
Okay, that sounds better, but now I already cast my vote. I can't retract it. I already stamped it and it's mailed off. Sorry.
Signatures will be checked later. August.
That's it.
No, I'm sorry, it's a 1 from me. I know nothing about the watch or the movie, so yeah.
Okay.
Viewing next, as soon as you finish this, you should watch it.
Yeah, I'll go watch it definitely.
And then you can change.
Yes.
Then I'll mail in the vote and see if we can take it.
Yeah. Put your vote on hold.
That was a good one.
Sophie.
I'll give it a 5.
5 and Dave.
Because Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Good enough reason as any. Sam, USA.
Hero.
2 to 3. It's okay.
And Derek.
That's a 5 for me. Are we still doing accents?
Christopher
Ben
Walken.
still has-
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Christopher
Ben appears to be hanging about.
Gigi. I don't know what that is.
Takes a minute.
You will in a
Oh,
moment.
4.
For nice watch, it doesn't really pull up a skirt.
Okay.
What he's looking
Spoiler
for.
But you are not Scottish, no?
So
Yeah, I'd
next
love
up
to be.
after that
Anything
is going
okay.
to be Dave. So Sophie, you can get your 0 ready.
Oh, it's
Because
ready.
Dave's actually kind of got 2 watches, but this is the one we're going with because this actually was in the film. This
For
is
once in my
the
life, I'm prepared.
Hamilton
yeah.
X01
Right.
Odyssey.
It was in
Right.
the film. It was.
Are we ready?
It's a
Go.
cool watch.
We've got to start.
Hello,
Go-
Dave. You're looking well today.
So there we go. Right, Space Odyssey, one of the best films ever made. So that's what we're going to start with.
The best film ever made.
Awesome. Honestly, what a film. So,
You guys like this movie?
yeah, I love this movie. Right. So,
Wasn't getting that.
Stanley Kubrick, for starters, guy's a genius. I like space. He's got other things to do with space. We'll come back to that. So park that for just now. But this watch, he commissioned with Hamilton in 1966, I think it was, a couple of years before the film came out. And also with John Berge, who worked at Hamilton, who is one of the people who helped to invent the LED digital watch. And they commissioned this piece, which they put together. And you got a picture of it, Rick?
Yep.
Have you got a picture of the reissue? I think that's the reissue, isn't it? Let me see. Keep scrolling down. Yeah, so that's the reissue. So the one used in the film looks very similar to this, but the main dial of the watch was a quartz movement, but the 3 little sub clocks down, you can see at the front there. You can see there's 3 little clocks on the front of it. I don't know if there's a picture that shows you the front of it, is there, Rick, there?
There you go.
There you go. So that showed the 3 different time zones. They were actually LEDs on the one that was used in the film. So the one in the film used LEDs, and like the original pulsar that came out that used a little magnet to change the time, on the originals that was used in the film, you had to use a little magnet that was built into the clasp to change the time on the one used in the film. It never made production. They only made one for the film, but this one here was 40 years after the film. They did a special edition of this one, which was, they made, funnily enough, 2001 of them. And the thing they had done that was different though in this, it's a cast titanium block, but it uses 4 separate quartz movements in it instead of the LEDs. But to get the hark back to the film, you can see the bit at the back. If you go scroll up a bit, Rick, you'll see the back of the watch. The 3 little quartz movements on the front, you still have to use a magnet that's built into the clasp to adjust the time on the 3 little sub-registers on there as well. So there's some really cool little features on it that really hark back to the original that was used in the film as the prop. And this, very much does look like the original. It's such a cool piece. this is the XO1, which was, as I say, that was the kind of direct, and you can see you can pick them up for about £800-900 if you can find a clean one. And the kind of sub one to this was, which actually has got a tie into the Murph, this is another watch that Hamilton have released recently, which has got a long-winded name. I think this is Odyssey XO3, and this is a homage that they've done, which ties in that original 2001 Space Odyssey watch and the watch from Interstellar, this is a current piece that they've done. And I just think a lot these watches both show how kind of different and innovative Hamilton can be as a brand that a lot of folk don't ever get a chance to see. And it all ties back to because Kubrick is a genius, and I like space, and he then used the lenses that were developed for NASA. There was only 10 ever made to photo the dark side of the moon, and he used those. He used those lenses. The film Barry Lyndon, which was a genius film, which was filmed in candlelight, he couldn't get a lens to film in such low light, so he borrowed the lenses from NASA to film it, and that was the only lenses that have ever been made that will allow a film to be made in that lower light. So give me 8s, or I'll come round and visit you.
It's a good pitch. It has to be fair. So let's rattle through it. Damien,
it's definitely a good pitch. But for me, the watch doesn't do anything for me. It's way too geeky and nerdy, and I have to say, 2001: Space Odyssey does nothing for me at all either. Never has. So I'm afraid I'm going to give it a
0.
Oh. When you hear Dave's voice tonight in your dreams, you're not dreaming.
UK Sam.
9 for me. Yeah, love it. Very cool.
Solid, Sam. Sam, your dreams will be safe.
I'm afraid I can't do that. Right?
That's the one.
Yeah.
All right. Arthur C. Clarke, 8.
8.
Good stuff. Philogus.
It's a 7 from me. I've never watched the movie, but I think I really like how Hamilton really makes their watches for the movies, and every aspect of it usually plays into the movie really well.
Yep.
I mean, the Murph, which makes the Murph a bit meh because it really looks like a normal watch, but the Man in Black one, the Ventura, and this one's really cool. So
good stuff. Sophie.
Love it. I really do.
She's confused like I was last week.
Yeah.
But
Lucy.
I have to say, I love your presentation because I learned a lot about it. I had seen it in passing. I'd never really heard anything specific about it. So that was really a great presentation. Thank you for that. I'm still siding with RT, but it's a great choice.
Lucy, give us your
score. That's how
score.
she keeps you out of her dreams.
She's failed already, don't worry.
I'm going to go with, because
An 8.
it speaks to my inner nerd massively.
Lucy's safe as well. That's good. I've only got 2 people I need to currently deal with.
Sam, are you safe?
I'm going to keep with the theme of last week, and I'm giving a 0 again.
That's just cost me a transatlantic airfare.
We won't let you in. Sorry.
Yeah, but if they won't let him in, it also means, Sam, they won't let you out.
No.
Derek.
You're stuck.
That's an 8 for me. I love the movie. I didn't even know that watch existed, and I'm probably gonna have to find one now.
There's a deep dive going on, isn't there?
I feel like I'm gonna have to rewatch the film to point it out.
All the way through the film. Great.
And Gigi.
Oh, well, I wish I had a higher votes to give you, a mark to give you, but because I adore Kubrick. I don't know how many times I've seen 2001. I've always eyed that watch. It was actually on the wrist of the commander of the shuttle that takes Dr. Floyd from Earth to the space station, and the guy who plays that part is the guy who plays Commander Straker in UFO, which is another 70s series. And I love that series too. So it was just, and Kubrick's a genius. I mean, his attention to detail is just like, did you know that in Barry Lyndon, he was such a maniac that he had people put period clothes inside the cupboards, even if the cupboards weren't open, because that's the way it would have been at the time. Even if you couldn't see the stuff, he wanted it in there. He just, I love him. But sorry, that's what I've got left.
What have you
That's
got?
the
A 5.
Okay, I've got Pierce Brosnan for you. What are we now? Timothy Dalton.
Right.
You can
Next
wait to the summer.
Next up then, and getting close to the end, is Stateside Sam. You're now introducing us to this, which was used in Dunkirk, the Omega CK 2129.
Yeah,
as worn by
Eager Dave.
Who's it worn by, Derek?
Oh, premature election again.
Tom Hardy.
Perfect.
Tell us
Speak
about
like that
Sam.
all the time. That'd be fine.
Yeah, this watch is really, really cool, and it has some really cool historical background. But I really love that Christopher Nolan put this in the movie Dunkirk, just because he's such a detailed director, and I love that he put this in. Just like, we were talking about the Hamilton, Interstellar, he kind of intertwines the watch, because he's a little bit of a watch nerd. He's like Loki, so it's really cool. But yeah, the really cool history about it. Omega made a lot of watches during World War II for the troops. So this specific one, the British Royal Air Force requested a very clean, can easily, with a rotating bezel, to time a specific important events like bombs going off, whatever you will. So and also pilots use this as well, not just on the ground. So it was a very useful tool in the actual World War II, but also Tom Hardy's character in the movie references it and uses it for those reasons. And it was like about over 100,000 watches were made for the Air Force. So very, very, very important piece. It's just very clean. Obviously, you could, tell the time or set it very easily, not, anything hard. And it was made, like, the bezel's a little bit chunky because a lot of the troops would have like gloves on. And so it's very easily turned. That second crown on the 4 o'clock right there, it's actually to stop the bezel from moving. So if they bumped it or moved it or whatever, it would, keep that time, whatever they were timing. I think it's just a really, really cool watch. Like I said, I love that it was integrated in a historical movie.
It looks great. It looks very cool.
It's really, really awesome. I dig it, and it has like a 40-hour power reserve for being made in the 40s. I think that's pretty cool.
Yes, looks excellent. I'd quite like Omega to remake something like this, of this kind of chunkiness. Dave, have you seen one of these as an Omega fan?
I have seen one, yes.
They have like reissued pretty much after World War II. They started making very similar dials. I believe it's the 2292 that has this basically the same dial, just doesn't have the bezel. So it looks just very clean, but they kind of branched out after.
Yeah.
Good. And just to check, your grandfather doesn't have one of these that is moving on to your uncle?
No, not this time.
Just checking. Let's give it some votes. Damien, what do we think? Dunkirk watch.
Great story, very well told, and I'm a sucker for sort of military watches. So yeah, I really dig this one. So I'm going to give it one of these babies.
6.
Oh yeah.
UK Sam.
I've only got really low numbers. I'm really sorry. It's a 2.
Cry.
2. Ralph.
I'm German, obviously, and wear my German jacket now. But it helped defeat the Nazis, right? So I'm giving it a 9 then.
9.
There you go.
9, yeah. Philogius.
It's a 9 from me too. It's really cool watch. I would have given it a bit lower for the 4 o'clock crown, but anything lower is too. It doesn't do it justice. So
good stuff. And Sophie.
I love it, and I love the 4 o'clock crown. I think it's brilliant.
It's a cool feature.
So cool.
It looks weird, but it was useful to them.
Totally, yeah.
And Lucy.
I'm not offended by the double crown at all. I think that's really cool. And the dial itself is beautiful and the pictures have aged really, really well. But I can't... The dial itself is vintage. The bezel is... I feel like it doesn't fit. I understand its use, but for me, so it's an in-between.
Yeah,
the bezel's...
It's a 5. Dave?
You were doing so well, Sam. You were going so well.
Sorry,
It's an
Sam.
omega, so of course I've still got an 8, but I was going to give you an 8, but I'm not, because you uttered
You
the word.
deserve it.
You uttered the words British Royal Air Force. We are just the Royal Air Force. Every other country has to put their name in it because we were the originals. You can have 3.
Oh, it's like the world. It's like the World Series.
Really?
Sorry,
Derek?
Sam.
That's a 3 for me. It's a cool looking watch, but I'm running out of high numbers. If it's any consolation, this is the highest number I've left.
Constellation indeed, as they say in
Don't justify
Pennsylvania,
it, just own
Nevada,
it.
and Arizona. Gigi.
Sorry, it's a 0. I don't have a 0 card, but it's a joke.
Oh, dear.
A joker.
A joker. Okay. Jack, yeah, whatever.
Is that
sorry.
because you're Italian but liked Mussolini, unlike Ralph, who didn't
No,
like Hitler?
because I like the watch. Okay, but it's the movie Dunkirk. I went to see it in. I went to the cinema to see it actually with a few friends of mine. I fell asleep. I'm not kidding. That I just fell. I was bored out of my senses. I love Christopher Nolan. He has an obsession with time. He just has that, time thing.
Well, we're running out of time, Gigi, so I'm going to move
Bye-bye.
you on. Give it a 0. That's fine. Okay, next up is Derek. 2 more to go, and Derek has picked this. It's a Doxa, and this is a letter that Clive Cussler obviously wrote to me. About his Doxa.
Did you
Dear
say we've
Rick,
got
here's my old Doxa.
2 more to go?
Yes, we should have Gigi
I've got
still.
3 numbers.
I've got 3 numbers still.
Oh,
I've only got 2.
I've got 2.
I only have 2
Controversial.
as well.
Controversial. Well, it's just the American way. So this is
But remember,
Oh my God, maybe I'm American.
You had 0 to 8, and a whole load of you have got 0 to 9 because you're idiots.
That's what he put in the group.
He said 0 to 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I checked.
Yeah, but Ricky was meant to
it
be here, and
should
he's
be.
not here.
Oh yeah, no, I've left it up. Never mind. Anyway, that's the Jeopardy. There we go. That's what they'll be saying all over the United States tonight. It's because Ricky didn't turn up. That's the problem.
Always,
right, Derek,
always
talk
Ricky.
to us about this Doxa.
Okay, so the movie tie-in was the movie Sahara, however you want to pronounce that. I sent you a pic of Matthew McConaughey. Did you get that, Rick?
I did, but I can't display it, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that was the good one. That was the money shot, so to speak. But anyway, so this is more about more for me about the books than the movie. I think that movie was okay, but the books, it's a long-running series of books since the 70s. There's like 25 of them. The hero is called Dirk Pitt, which is kind of a stupid name, but he's kind of like a mix of James Bond and like Indiana Jones type characters. So it's all just adventures, but there's a lot of scuba diving and aquatic stuff, which is where I think the Doxa came in. The first couple of books he wore an Omega, but then I think he switched to the more appropriate tool watch for what he was doing. And it's just kind of cool to see such like a esoteric tool watch in pop culture, like a thing that nobody really, even now, not that many people are familiar with. And to see Matthew McConaughey wearing one is like,
Here we go.
There it is.
Here's the picture. We have. Turns out I do have the technology.
So so that's my
Good
pick.
stuff.
Not the greatest movie ever made, but cool.
No.
It's cool watch inclusion.
It's quite an unusual watch, really, for the desert. But there we go.
I'm telling you, in the books, there's a lot of scuba diving.
Okay. Excellent. Right, let's give Derek a score. There's some Doxa lovers in the room. So who starts off? Damien?
Yeah, big Doxa lover. Know nothing about the books or the quite frankly horrendous film, but I'm going to go with one of the few numbers that I've got left. Sorry, I'm going to go for numero 4.
For UK Sam.
Sorry, really lower numbers. I'm going to go for 1. I do love Doxa, but yeah.
Ralph.
Saying it 3 times. All right, all right, all right.
That's all I had in my head.
3.
Oh, dear. Philogius.
4 for me.
A 4. And Sophie.
Also 4.
And Lucy.
I don't know what we're doing now because I've got 3 cards
That's
left.
fine. Just make it up as you go along.
Are we going with the
Nice.
keeping the 0 or the 9? Because
You can keep either one
Choose
you
what you
like.
want.
It really doesn't matter.
One of these votes will be illegitimate.
I think Lucy is the new Derek this week.
Let's do a recap.
am I in a good mood or not? I don't know.
How can you have more votes than candidates? Doesn't work.
Wait a minute.
That's a good one, Rick.
This is a drinking game as to how many times we could reference it. We would all be hammered right now.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean we would be?
How empty is your glass?
I do have the bottle next to me, so I am top.
Empty bottle.
I get.
Give us a score.
Sorry,
At
I really
2.
like it, but I'm struggling with numbers.
Dave.
Who else is still to go?
Gigi. Do you like him?
I do like GG.
That's easy then. You can have 8 because that means Gigi's getting hee-haw.
I've got 2 cards left, so I shouldn't have 2 cards
Sam.
left. I fucked up as well.
Giving it a 2.
Oh,
2
dear.
from Sam. And
You've
finally,
got a
Gigi.
Doxa, Sam.
I don't know.
I do, but
whatever,
I don't like the case on that one. It gets me, man.
Oh, come on, Sam. That's the real Doxa.
I don't.
Not rising.
Okay, last up then is Gigi, and this is a watch I didn't know about.
I've got a 2 left
I
as well.
didn't, but this is quite cool.
Whatever.
This is from Grand Prix, a James Garner movie.
Ah.
And this is the Tag Heuer Carrera with his own name on it. Quickly tell us about this, Gigi, because time is
Okay.
cracking
I'll
on.
try to be as short as possible, but I do encourage, if you put it into show notes, this article on Caliber 11 that has a nice heartwarming story about this watch. This is James Garner's personal watch, and he wore it. It's not a prop. Okay, he actually was his, and he wore it in the Rockford Files, Grand Prix, and a lot of people were curious as to what the text on the watch was, because it wasn't clear from the film or television. So the guys from Caliber 11 got into contact with, not them, but some people from the Heuer groups or whatever, got into contact with Garner Estate, and they found out that the text on the watch was James Garner, because he'd had the dial personalized. Nobody's sure how he got that done, probably during a service or something. He had his name printed on the dial, and it's you can see it's just a loved watch. I love the story behind it. I like the fact that it's his own personal watch. It's not a movie prop. He's a watch guy, and he was also a car guy, and he's just one of my most iconic. One of the most iconic. He's not like Sean Connery. He's not that Sean Connery famous, but he was in such wonderful movies like The Great Escape, and the fact that he's wearing his own watch on screen tells you a lot about what the guy he's a watch guy. Otherwise, he would just put on a prop or no watch at all, probably. So that's it. And the watch, I think the watch is very symmetrical. If you look at it, it's a chrono. It doesn't have a date. It's a very, very plain Jane watch, okay, or plain Joe watch. It's nothing really special about it, but I like the story behind it. And the fact that it's 50 years old now, and these pictures of the watch now, it's a watch that's 50 years old in this shape, even though he's worn it and loved it. It's just incredible. It's just incredible to me that a watch, so old can, look so good. And that's the story.
Yeah, I was quite interested to see this and have a wee read about it. So yeah, as you say, do check out the Caliber 11 article. Let's give it a vote as we close off today. Damien?
Yeah, absolutely love this one, but I've only got one number left. And mention of the Rockford Files, immediately you get the highest one left. It's a 3.
UK Sam?
My last number, but yeah, 4. Love it. Like, love the style of it. Would wear it. Yeah.
And Ralph?
I have a 6 left. Oops, sorry, 6 left.
August?
No comment.
Oh, I love the watch, but I want to use my 0, so you
Oh,
get 0.
thanks. I needed that.
Given that you still have another one left, that's
Oh,
an
yeah.
interesting
Okay.
choice.
I'll give myself a 2. So add
One
that.
to you.
I've got this left.
And Sophie.
6.
And Lizzie.
I don't like that he's labelled it like you used to have to do with your school uniform. But I do like vintage, and I'm in a good mood. So.
Oh, thank you.
Nice from Lizzie. And then
Wait, that way.
Dave.
There you go.
I actually got it right and had 8 to 0, but I've decided to turn 6 upside down and give him a 9 because Gigi's a good guy, and that watch doesn't say tag on the dial, so that's a win as well.
True.
The man. Thanks, Dave.
And Sam, UFA.
I like it. Give it a 6. Think that's how you know you've made it. You got your name on a watch. So I strive to do that one day. It's pretty cool.
Give me a Sharpie and I'll do it. Give me a Sharpie and I'll sort that out.
Let's write it on all of them.
And a final score for today's show from Derek.
1. That's all I got left. Sorry, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
Good stuff. Well, thank you all very much for taking part today. The winner, which probably comes as absolutely no surprise to anybody, on 53 points is Sophie with the James Bond Submariner. Maybe there is no just in the world. An interesting second. Actually, he managed it because he gave some poetry on 45 plus an extra point was the Murph Interstellar, and then also finishing in 45 was Dave's Hamilton and Sam's Omega, and then everybody else is behind there somewhere. There was also 2 in 44 and 43, and in last place was unfortunately Derek, even though we got an extra point for choosing a watch.
It didn't feel like
that was
last
also in a
place.
book.
I felt
It didn't
like
feel like last place. No, it was last. It was between you and Sam's Ventura. Well, there we go. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining us.
Before we go, I'm going to give you one last election joke, which you'll probably not be able to read.
Hold on. You
Read
need
it
to
out.
say something, Dave. You need to read
It's
it.
taken so long, but he has to say. Ah.
Good stuff. We have some counting jokes. So we can all log off now and see if the United States have finally managed to add up some numbers. Other than that, do check out everything from Scottish Watches that's coming from the gang. Some of the gang that you see here today will be on the podcast shortly. Check out Arthur and Dan's show on Friday. So as we like to say, I need to make sure these guys keep waving and keep saying hello so that it logs off properly. It's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from all of them. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.